live, Ethan Lowry. You're on.
What do you say when you're live?
Welcome, guys. We're back for another episode of the Backlit Rejects. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see actually, but we have some new equipment on the podcast at the moment. And it has lots of fancy buttons and dials and colors. And I'm just dialing back the music as we speak. Right.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet.
It is very, very cool.
In fact, I'll make that my gear of the week. Not because we talked about it just before, because I didn't have a gear of the week. But we now have a Rodecaster Pro 2, which is a kind of all-in-one recording studio, internally recording his music, all kinds of stuff. We can even, like, if we want, drop some music mid. You ready?
It is way too fun.
Yeah. So we're back for another podcast, and we have a pretty important topic today, I think, because I didn't tell Captain Larry about it earlier, but I've been doing a study for 4 months. I call it study because I'm doing that in commas. Is it commas?
Air quotes?
Air quotes. Yeah. See, this is how bad my education is.
That's fine.
Because I don't even know what air quotes are, and I didn't even pass fifth form in school.
It's fine. We're not here to judge.
No. But before we get into that, we do have some beers to open. So what did you bring us?
Well, we have the Nelson something fresh hop called IPA from Urban Art, which I know is a favorite of yours.
I do. Yeah, I have one of their shirts.
Yep. And then we have the Crispy Club Unfiltered Lager from Garage Project. You can have your pick, either one.
I'll take the IPA.
Lovely.
You ready? Simultaneous. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, fuck. These microphones. Oh, we didn't cheers.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's good. Probably try not to spill that on the new equipment.
Yep.
And what else do we... Oh, we also have Ethan Lowry's new headphones with some nice Mackies. They're pretty
very
good.
Nice. Yeah.
They're the same brand as my studio monitor speakers. So I thought they'd be pretty decent.
Yeah. Crispy audio. What else do we have? What else do you want to point out?
That's pretty much it, really. We were going to do whiskey, but Ethan said he'd vomit.
I would actually throw up in your lap
if we had whiskey, because his palate isn't quite matured.
No.
You're a young man,
14-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else you want to get onto before we get onto the main subject?
No. Hit me with some facts.
Right.
Some science. So,
a while ago, about 4 months ago, so I've just finished now. I was thinking the industry's changing a little bit, and inquiries are not what they used to be, and it's just been a little bit of a challenge for a lot of people. And in the past, I've always been the kind of person. Wait, let me reverse. I've always been the guy that's been talking about how important it is to have your price on your website. Well, not how important it is, but how helpful it is. And it just creates a lot less work because people see your prices on the website. If they can't afford it, they just skip. If they can afford it, they inquire. So it's always generated way higher quality leads,
Yep.
And I spend a lot, the only emails I ever get with my prices on my website is, are you free? Can we meet you? We want to book, basically.
Yeah.
It's very little work to book a wedding.
Yeah. People are going into it knowing exactly what exactly what to expect. There's nothing hidden. Basically, if they send you an email, they're ready to commit.
Yeah, exactly.
Functionally.
Yeah, and just a lot less work. But you obviously get a lot less leads.
Yeah.
A lot less email inquiries because you just don't get price shoppers.
Yeah.
Basically. So I ran this test where from the start of January from the start of January, following 8 weeks from that, I left my prices on my website and counted everything. leads, where they came from, what I booked, what I didn't book. And then I took my prices off my website and just put a starting price, and then did it again for the next 2 months. And I have all the data, everything.
I can't wait to see it. Do we have a pie chart? I have a pie chart.
No pie chart, but lots of percentages. So I'm going to jump in to my Google Docs here.
Yep.
And hit you with some facts.
Yeah.
Basically.
I want nothing but facts.
You guys can't appreciate this. Yeah, if people that know me would know that I don't study. I don't do anything. Look at this.
What?
Look at this shit.
That is a thesis.
That's
a thesis.
This is science, people.
Yeah.
Science. So, I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't really read it properly. And I am a scientist. All scientists wear glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You should know you're a scientist.
Yeah.
Firstly, when I say no prices on my website, I just mean there's no like packages options. There's no nothing. I have a starting price. So it says, wedding packages start from $3,500. That's what it says on my website.
Yep.
Now, that's what it says when I took it off. Before that, I had all my prices on my website, everything. Yeah. For me, so as a consumer, like say I'm looking for parts for my motorbike and I go on a website, because some parts, if I'm looking for like carbon fiber bits or something, they often don't have a price. You have to inquire for a price, and I can't be fucked. No. I'm just like, I'm out. Yeah. I move on to the next one and I buy it. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people are the same. Not everybody, but a lot of people are the same. So do you remember a while ago I put that post, that poll in the wedding discussion group? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was like 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. As you know, it was October 2022. I have a screenshot in my thesis.
Oh, get a little bit of an introduction. And land.
Yeah. On that group, there was 749 votes. Okay. 8% of them, 8%, said they didn't care and they were happy to inquire anyway. Oh, sorry. Let me read the post. So it was, if you're looking, when you're looking through websites for photographers and videographers and there's no pricing packages, what do you do? Is it frustrating or do you not care? Okay.
Cool.
So 8% said they didn't care. Out of 749 people, 8% said they didn't care and they would inquire anyway. 25% said it's annoying, but they would likely still inquire if they were keen. 67% said it's annoying and they would probably skip and keep going.
Instant gratification, right? Like for how many years we've been trained to pursue something if we can get it instantly. Yeah,
exactly. There was some talk when I posted that poll in our collective group. There was some talk about that particular wedding discussion group not being our ideal client and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's some truth to that because you get a lot of people in that group, particularly that are like just looking. They think $1,000 is too much for wedding photography.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But a lot of clients that I've shot myself, and their weddings have been, I don't know, 80, 100 grand, and they're in that group. Mm-hmm. So I think, and with the amount of votes, 749, I think it's a pretty valid opinion.
Yeah, it's a good sample size.
And finally, I think really the whole thing comes down to, this whole thing for me is because do you want to spend, like how much time do you have to reply to emails? Yeah. Because you're going to see it goes up a lot. Like a lot. Yeah. And I calculated it, how many hours it is. Okay. Like over the time period. Yeah, right? Sure. And finally, this is not really scientific. This is just me. But I have been in this industry for a long time. I've shot about 500 weddings. I'm still doing about 40, 50 weddings a year. And, I've done it over the time period from like January to April where genuine inquiries are pretty busy. Okay. So I think it's a pretty good sample size. Section 1, statistics. So not having my prices on my website for an 8-week period. One note as well, so on my form I have where did you find me, blah, blah, blah. So I've split them all from where the inquiries came from, and social media, the inquiries still come through my website, but they've put that they found me on like Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yep.
Having my prices on my website for 8 weeks, I had 9 inquiries. So just over 1 a week. It's not great.
Yeah.
But I had 2 from referrals, 6 from Google, so like Google search, and 1 from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 9, I booked 3 of them. 3 of them I was already booked, and I passed them on to like you or other photographers who probably booked them. And the other 3 were either just unsuccessful or ghosted. But 2 of those that were unsuccessful, they were asking for prices.
Right.
So they just low quality leads that skipped. They basically didn't even look at my website. They just went straight to the contact page to price shop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of invalid.
Yeah.
But, facts are facts. After taking so that's 9 inquiries, right? After taking my prices off, over the same period, I had 33 inquiries, right? Which is a 266% increase in inquiries from taking my prices off and only having a start price.
Yeah.
10 were from referrals, 15 from Google, 2 from Instagram, 4 from Facebook, and 2 didn't say. Okay? So again, pattern is referrals and Google. Super important.
Yep.
Out of those, 5 of them I booked, right? 4 I was already booked and passed them on. And then all of the rest of them
just didn't hear back.
You don't hear back, or I was too expensive, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's, I know all these inquiries, and I think it's very unlikely that I'm still going to book any of these inquiries, but it's possible.
Yep. Open leads, some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, sure.
But unlikely. One of the important stats that I found was that of the 8 total bookings, so I booked 8 weddings over that 4-month period, all right, which still I think is quite low for me, but whatever. 7 of them were from referrals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I think really highlights the importance of making a good impression, helping your clients out leading up to the wedding, and just doing everything you can that is going to get you referrals. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just pretty side note. So, and then I broke down the stats a little bit in section 2, statistics breakdown. Right? I need a sip of beer for this.
Yeah.
So,
hit me.
I'm just going to read it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had 9 inquiries over that time period. The inquiries came mostly from Google, 66%, 22% being from referrals, and 11% from social media, which is rubbish. I never get anything from social media. I know lots of people do, but, this is all like, overview from beforehand. So 33% of them I was booked, 33% I booked them with minimal effort, I have to say. Yeah. Because I already knew my price. And 33% I failed to book. So basic stats. And then, like I said, after I took the prices off, my bookings jumped, my inquiries jumped 266% to 33. Okay. So of those, it was mostly Google at 45%, and then 30% followed by referrals, and then again 12% social media. And again, this is just my business. So, and of those inquiries, I booked 5 weddings, which only works out to a 15% success rate from inquiries. Yeah, 12% of them me being already booked for, so I couldn't book them, which is fine. 72% being ghosted once I sent the price.
Yeah, that's not great.
No.
It's not great.
And I even went and found out, not exactly, but pretty much right on, how many emails this took. Okay.
Yeah.
When I took my prices off my website, when talking about the number of emails I sent before and after, back and forth, before it was apparent that they were going to book me. You know what I mean? You get to a certain point, they're like, yeah, send me a deposit. Yeah. So it took 137 emails back and forth to book 5 weddings. Okay. 137 emails. Yeah. When I had my prices on my website, it took 31 emails to book 3 weddings. Okay. Yep. And I already talked about the other one where when I had my prices on my website, the 2 that were just rubbish inquiries that just went straight to my contact form. So it was, so that really that rate is a bit higher, but let's go off like real stats. Now, I broke that down to hours and how much time I would have spent on hours. That's why I was asking in the group how long it takes you to like send an email.
Yeah.
I worked it out to about 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people said 15, some people said 10. Like more people said 10.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is how I worked it out. So when I took the prices down, of the 33 inquiries, 24 were ghosted with roughly 106 emails exchanged that came to nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
So 106 emails with nothing. That's back and forth. So reading and sending them, which works out to roughly, if you think it takes about 7 minutes on average to read and reply to an email, that's 14 hours of emailing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a hell of a lot, I guess.
Wasted
Hours.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or
and
hours that did not result in a booking.
Yeah. 14 hours in like 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you took longer than that, like I calculated again, if you take some people said 15 minutes to reply to email, maybe they just think about it more or whatever. That jumps to 26 hours. That's 26 constant hours of emailing.
Yeah.
That's a fair amount of time.
It's like, if we were to go equivalents to like a work week, like half a week.
Half a week, just
7 to 8 weeks.
Just in emailing.
Yeah.
For something that's never going to make you any money.
Yeah.
So there's 26 hours of time that you've spent free, basically, to get nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. It comes down to like, you know, I do this full time. I don't have a job.
Yeah.
You know, I just do readings, really. I don't really do anything else apart from podcasting and YouTube and everything else that I do because I can't sit still. Let me skip back. Do you have any thoughts on that, on those stats?
Sorry, can you backtrack for me a little bit?
Sure.
So when you had your prices up on the website, how many emails did you send that did not result in a booking?
It took 31 emails in total to book those 3 weddings.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, which is, let me calculate it.
And that's across all 9 of those leads?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, right.
So replying, that includes booking the ones I booked and replying to the ones that ghosted me.
Yeah. So that's like 3 hours.
Divided by 60, it's like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 hours versus 26. Yeah. So you're spending a lot more time filtering leads.
Yeah. And it was also like, you know, going down to the office and like setting it up and, you know, I don't just usually reply on my phone. Generally, I go to my computer and like check the dates properly and like and do that kind of shit. So it's not just emailing time, but you know, I think generally anyway. And there's other things to take into account, which is like being disheartened.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, totally.
Like it sucks replying to people and just not getting any inquiries back, any replies.
Yeah.
Most of them don't even reply saying it's too expensive. That you just never hear from them.
No.
And there's something confidence inspiring about having a price on your website. You know, I've had my price on my website for years, and I've always booked out. Yeah, every year.
Yeah,
but it's quite scary when you don't get a lot of inquiries. Yeah, you know, because you know you could go for like a month or 3 weeks maybe without getting an inquiry. Yeah, when your prices are on your website. Yeah, but then you'll book like 3 in the week after. Yeah, so I guess my thoughts were, it does take a shitload more time. And it's kind of annoying not having my price on my website. I don't think I booked any more weddings from not having my prices on there, like getting the extra work, because there was no back and forth. Yeah, you send the email, they don't reply. Yeah, or they reply and you book them. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I couldn't find the exact numbers, but I went back through last season's bookings, and I figured out I booked roughly 85 to 90% of the inquiries that I had. Okay. From all the inquiries I had, I booked about 85 to 90% of them. Yeah. And that includes the ones I was already booked for. Yeah. So I booked very little. Yeah. I mean, I didn't book very little of the inquiries I had. But again, I had way less inquiries. So
this year compared to last or in past years?
Just in general with having my, like, you know, I've never had this many inquiries. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. And I did feel like I was working a lot, just juggling stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Like juggling inquiries and like, cause I usually follow up as well. Yeah. Like one, you know, maybe like 3 days later, cause my phone app reminds me to like follow up on inquiries 3 days later. So I'll just be like, hey, just checking in if you need anything.
Yeah.
And they never reply to that one either.
No.
And I know a lot of people don't do that. So, and I was thinking about it, like, you tell me what you think of, when people say, I don't like having my price on my website because I like to form a bond with them over email beforehand. What do you think about that?
I think it's valid if you are attracting the right people to your website. But then if you're attracting the right people to your website, it doesn't really matter what your prices are anyway, right? Like if you're attracting your ideal client to your website, they see your work, they love your work, they reach out to you,
Yeah.
they book you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters.
I just don't. I've just never understood how people think they're going to form a bond over email.
Not when on average someone's reaching out to 3, 4, 5 photographers probably in the same evening.
Yeah.
Unless there's a really, really strong referral.
Yeah.
Say. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other couple of thoughts I had was like I booked I think it was two weddings I booked. One of them was an Indian wedding. It was like 3-day event. And when I didn't have my price on my website, they inquired. And that was a bit of a bargaining thing. And I don't know if they would have inquired if I had my price on my website. But I've done a lot of Indian weddings while having my prices on my website. And there's always a bargaining thing. Trying to figure out the 3 days.
Yeah.
And then there was the other one when talking about like forming a relationship with people on email.
Yeah.
I had one inquiry. You're going to laugh about this one. They sent me a huge long email about who they are, everything like that.
Yeah.
Like it was like an essay on who they are and their energy and all this kind of stuff. I was like, sweet. I replied to them and we had heaps in common. So I was like, I vibed off it.
Yeah.
They were vibing off it.
Yeah,
There was
cool.
vibes flying all over the place.
Yeah.
And they were like, fucking let's meet now, So I met them.
Yeah.
But by the time they had inquired, like there was a bit of a gap, like a few weeks in between when they inquired to when I met them.
Yeah.
I was booked in between that time by somebody else.
Yeah. Painful. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know who got that booking?
Yeah, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
You little
I got
slut.
that one. Yeah. Yeah. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. And I sent them to you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm sorry, you guys, you took a bit long. I've already booked them. And I met them in person and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, but my boy Ethan's booked, not booked, and I'll gift him to you.
And it was a gift. They're great. They're so cool. And when you told me about the email energy and when you sent me like a little screenshot of how gutted she was in email, when he reached out to me, I matched that energy back to them, which I know she appreciated because when we met up with him, she was like, oh my gosh, your email was so funny. Instant connection through email. But then surely that's the minority case, right? Like someone actually...
that was the only one of the 33 that sent me like a story and I had things in common with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I still think the whole getting a bond with your client over email is bullshit. If you can get them to meet you before, but no one's going to meet you without knowing your prices. No. It's going to be pretty hard to get people, drag people out of their house to meet you at a bar or something, cafe somewhere, and meet you without knowing at least roughly how much you're going to cost for the day.
Yeah, totally. I think I know one person that does that.
Do you want to name them?
It's Big Daddy James Day.
Oh, yeah, now we don't have to cut that out.
Yeah.
He's different.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he's just like, he's way better than me or you, I think. Do you? He's a pretty epic photographer.
He's incredible.
And he's so expensive that it just is irrelevant.
But I think he's reached that point in his career and he speaks to, or he finds the right people or the right people find him.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's in such a niche. And I would not be surprised if 95% of his bookings come from referrals.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Basically an inner circle of James Day brides around Australia that,
I agree.
Like an exclusive little club.
Yeah, he's quite epic.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that.
I love you, James.
Yeah. We both met him at Down to Photo. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That party was Fucked.
And we met him at that Sony Alpha Awards thing in Sydney. A couple years
that's
back.
right.
It was ages ago now.
Yeah,
but
Sony.
yeah.
That was pretty cool. I can't believe that happened. Sony flew both of us over to Sydney to judge the Wedding Photography Awards.
I don't think I judged it. I was I was along for the ride.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that was cool. We still got a free trip to Sydney and a bunch of shit. I lost that jacket.
I still have mine. I wear it often.
I lost it at a wedding.
Oh,
It's such a good jacket.
Gutted. It's a really good jacket. Yeah.
Such a good jacket.
Yeah. Say jacket one more time.
Jacket.
Yeah.
Jacket.
Yeah.
Jacket. you gotta breathe into it, you know. So
that's super interesting though. Really, really good data.
yeah, my conclusion though is like I'm gonna leave my prices off for now because I think it's kind of just part of my job to reply to emails as a full-time wedding photographer. You know, I do have kids and I have other shit to do.
Sure.
But I have a pretty chill life.
Yeah.
You know, I have a pretty sweet lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I can afford to spend the extra hours emailing people.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to not be a lazy fuck and just reply to people. And I have the ego to not care if people don't reply to me. You know what I mean? Like I just don't care as long as I'm booking weddings.
Yeah.
But I do think, and the other thing I was thinking was if you're newer, like if you're a newer photographer, you're just getting into industry, you kind of need to have that bargaining power and you want a high volume of inquiries. Like doing the work is just kind of part of it. Yeah. And I think that having your prices off your website for that, having a starting I do think you should have a starting price, period. You know, not having the prices on your website as a good bargaining chip if you need more inquiries.
Yeah. It's also a really good way to test your pricing, right? Like without being wildly different between emails that you're sending out to people. You can test pricing. You can send someone $6,500 for a full day photo and video package, and then $7,000 to the next person. With a small group of bookings, you can't really get a feel for the market or for what's right. But you can begin to push the boundaries a little bit.
I mean, and the way I've done it is I have a web page that is not visible on my website, but I can just send the link.
Yeah, I have the same.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people have like PDFs. That's how they get their emotion across. I'm not making fun of you guys. I mean, I am a little bit, but come on, it's a fucking PDF. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not showing emotion. Yeah. You're not showing your personality. Yeah. You show it when you're on the phone with them or you're video call or you meet them. Yeah. I'm sorry. Get over it.
He's a grumpy old man.
I am. Yeah. I lost where I was going because I was ranting.
You have a non-linked.
So the PDF thing, when people have PDFs, that's fine and it looks cool. But the problem is you can't experiment with pricing that much because you have all these PDFs out there in the world with all these different prices. Like, how are you going to keep track of that? Yeah. Like, I can change my price whenever I want, and people that have already have it, it changes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I have been telling people that, you know, if they like, I had a few, I raised my price, and I had a few that inquired the day before, and I was like, look, I'm about to raise my price, and it's going to change. So if you screenshot this and remind me, as long as it's in within the next couple of weeks, then I'll give you that price. Yeah. Cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. And actually, I booked 2 of those people. So
nice. A little bit of urgency.
Yeah, nice. But I did raise my price. I wasn't just like bullshitting them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's super interesting. What was can we go back to your inquiry rate? Sorry. Can we go back to your inquiry rate the previous year with pricing off your website? Do you know what that was? Like how many
inquiries?
Yeah, how many inquiries in the first 4 months of the year?
Well, I don't have exact stats because I switched email service.
Oh, yeah, sure. Right.
And a lot of those emails are archived, so it was I tried to find it, but I mean, I shot last season about 45 weddings. So whatever emails that took. Yeah. And I had my prices on for all of them. Yeah. Obviously. And, you know, it's funny because when you have your prices on your website, you don't really get ghosted. Like, no. There's occasions where they've like maybe changed their mind, maybe halfway through or something, or they just prefer somebody else, but they inquired with you first or whatever, that's fine, totally.
Yeah.
But when you have your price on your website, people just either book you or they don't. They just don't inquire. Because I'm not cheap, but I'm not the most expensive.
No.
You know, I'm definitely weeding out a lot of people. Like a lot of those 33 inquiries I got after taking my prices off could have even been looking for prices for like $1,500 for the whole day.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
when I'm coming at like $6,000, they're gonna be like, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Nup.
Yeah.
So I think what we're gonna do now is have a little break, and
Look at that.
we're gonna regather our thoughts, just because we can, basically. And we'll be right back in a minute. All right, we're back. Had a little bit of a break. God, those numbers tire me out.
I had a nap.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Thinking about numbers and crunching things.
Yeah.
Being science.
Spreadsheets.
Doing sciences. It's complicated.
It is. It is.
So, yeah, we don't really have any other topics to talk about, but actually we did have one comment on the Spotify.
Oh. Can people comment on Spotify?
Yeah, they can.
Was it another comment about my sexy voice? Because I've had a few of those
No,
direct messages.
not at all.
Okay.
I'm going to read it out.
Okay.
It was from, is that what flag is that?
Mm-mm.
We're not going to say. No. It's from Porty, and she said, "Hi, Chris and Ethan. Can you please discuss sensors and what bodies to shoot side by side with the A7IV, and why some skip the Alpha 7 range for the A9s for weddings?"
Do you want to begin?
I mean, we've both had A9s, haven't we? You've had A9s.
Yeah.
I've had A9 and the A9 II.
Yeah.
And now we both shoot on A7IVs, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest decider between the A7 range and the A9 range is what you want to do with it. I wouldn't go back to A9s if I'm doing hybrid.
A9 is hopeless for hybrid.
Yeah. Functionally, it does everything the same except color profiles.
Also, the A9 II, even the A9 II is old now compared to the A7IV.
Totally.
The A7IV has a lot of stuff that the A9 II doesn't have.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think if you're asking that question now, I think it's pointless buying the A9 II for weddings. Really, the only benefit is the, you know, being able to have that stack sensor so you have silent shooting anywhere. Because I think a lot of people don't realize the difference between, like, in our conversations with people about equipment, people don't realize that stacks, how different stack sensors are, and how most cameras, you can't just shoot silent whenever you want.
No.
It's not how it works.
No. It essentially enables super, super fast readout of the sensor, right? So,
You can just use silent shutter anywhere with the A9. So A9 Mark II, I think the Canon R3, the Nikon Z9. I think that's pretty much it. Maybe a couple others, but they're the only cameras that you can shoot silent anywhere, like in a church with flickering lights, anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the other cameras, you have to be very careful with silent shooting. In fact, I don't use silent shooting with the A7IVs unless I'm not moving fast and it's outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
And aside from banding, you also get that
the frame
what's the
warping.
wiggle?
The wiggles. Can't remember what it's called.
The wiggles. And it shall forever be known as the wiggles.
When everything, you know, you take a photo of a pole and you go like that and it's like wonky.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of Sony for weddings, really it's the A7IVs. Like, I don't know why you would buy any other camera unless you just had heaps of money and you wanted the A1s.
Yeah.
Then that would be better. But not many people want to spend 10 grand each on a camera. And the A7IV does everything.
Yeah. Because if we were talking color science across sensors, there's a bit of variability, but the newest ones, so from A7 Mark IV, the S3, the A1, the R5, they all have a really, really similar color science.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
Then the previous generation was a bit of a mixed bag.
And I find they match Canon, Nikon, like all the new generation cameras, they match enough that I don't really have to adjust my presets or anything when I'm editing. like second shooter files from Canon or something. I'm not really a fan of the Canon files. I just honestly don't know what people are raving about, honestly. Like maybe back in the day, like in the A7 II and stuff, like Sony had a bit of a funny look to them. But I just can't see it. I prefer Nikon files over Canon any day. Like I had Johnny associate shoot for me one wedding, and he shot on his Z6s or Z7s or whatever, and they were great.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything else you want to say on cameras. As far as I'm concerned, it's like for weddings, it's two A7 IVs and your lenses of choice. Like, if you want to go easy, 35-85. If you want to step out the box a little bit, like 24-50, and like an 85 or a 135 for the ceremony. That's pretty much it, really.
Yeah,
you don't need more than that. That's pretty much the same kit you use, right?
Yeah, 24-55 and something longer. I actually have to buy something longer because I just sold my 70-200. I have a wedding coming up in 2 weeks. So I've got to sort something out.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to book you in for a second shooting. I booked a wedding yesterday.
Nice.
And the wedding's in like 7 weeks.
Sweet. Yeah.
In June.
Sign me out.
So we can Turner and Lowry that shit.
Been a while. Been a long while.
And the other thing I was going to say was I was cleaning out my office the other day. Today. What do I always say the other day?
It was 8 minutes ago, Chris. 8 minutes ago.
I was cleaning out my office, and I found all these Polaroid. Look at these.
Fuck, that's pretty
These
cool.
are all my Instax. You guys are not going to be able to see this, but I have a whole bunch of Instax photos on my desk from my Instax printer.
They're pretty cool, eh? Like
it's that's from the Instax camera, but some of them are from the printer, like that one. But they're great, man. That's another gear of the week thing, I reckon, the Instax printer. I don't know where my one is, but and I have the wide camera as well.
Oh yeah, cool.
That one, that's pretty cool.
You know, old mate Paul Petch brought one of those to our wedding.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was really cool. We were just looking back at those photos a few days ago.
Paul Petch.
I know.
Have you heard from him?
Yeah, he reached out a little while back.
Yeah, these things are great. Yeah. And these are what we use. Most of you guys listening probably already know about it because I talked about it on YouTube and other people are doing it as well. But I use the Instax printer when we're at weddings to, I transfer photos from my camera to my phone, edit them, and then print them out on one of these and give the couple like 8 photos from their day. And they love it, man.
Yeah, hand them over dinner, and people just... They lose their mind.
It's like referral gold.
Yeah.
You can see them going around showing their mates.
Yep. They do the rounds, show the parents. The parents start crying. And
Oh, there's old
it's awesome.
Gina.
Yeah, I saw her.
You guys probably can't see that because it'll be out of focus. James.
It's a very sciencey episode, wasn't it?
It was a lot of science. Yeah. While we talk about exiting, I'm just going to drop some music. Welcome to the Turner and Lowry podcast.
We could start an actual radio show.
95 BFM. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you.
Timing.